The emergency klaxons wailed through the command deck of the starborn Fang, humanity's flagship and the pride of the Terran Pack fleet. King Marcus Valens stood at the viewport, his enhanced senses tracking the debris field that stretched across the frozen moon of Helios 9. His mate, Luna Commander Elena Valen, had been missing for 18 hours following the catastrophic failure of her reconnaissance shuttle during what should have been a routine patrol. Still no signal from the commander's emergency beacon, reported Lieutenant Hayes from the communications station. The young officer's voice trembled slightly, aware that he was delivering news the Alpha King did not want to hear. Marcus's jaw tightened. In the 3 years since humanity had ventured into deep space and encountered dozens of alien species, they had earned a reputation as fierce protectors and stubborn survivors. The other races called them the Pack, marveling at their social bonds and their refusal to abandon their own. Now his mate was missing on a moon with surface temperatures that could freeze blood in minutes, and every minute that passed made survival less likely. "Prepare my shuttle," Marcus commanded. "I'm going down there myself." "Sir, the storm system is still active," Hayes protested. "We can barely scan through the interference." "Then I'll search with my own eyes," Marcus replied, his tone leaving no room for argument. "Elena is out there. I will find her." The descent through Helios 9's atmosphere tested even the enhanced piloting systems of the Royal Shuttle. Ice particles battered the hull like bullets, and electromagnetic interference turned the instruments into useless static. Marcus flew by instinct alone, his predatory focus narrowed to a single purpose. Below him, the frozen landscape stretched endlessly, a wasteland of ice plains and jagged ridges that could hide a million secrets. He flew in expanding search patterns, his genetically enhanced eyes scanning for any sign of wreckage or life. The Terran genetic modifications that made humanity's leaders into apex predators also gave them advantages that had shocked the galactic community. Enhanced strength, speed, senses, and an almost supernatural ability to track and protect their pack members. Hours passed. The fuel reserves dropped toward critical levels. Still Marcus searched, refusing to return to the starborn Fang empty-handed. Then he saw it. A faint heat signature on his thermal scanner, barely registering through the storm's interference. It was tucked into a shallow ice canyon, sheltered from the worst of the wind. Marcus brought the shuttle down in a controlled crash, the landing struts groaning as they bit into the frozen ground. He emerged into the killing cold, his envirosuit struggling to maintain temperature. The canyon wall loomed before him, and he spotted the dark opening of a cave carved into the ice. His enhanced hearing picked up something that made his heart leap. The sound of a human heartbeat. No, multiple heartbeats. Small ones. Marcus rushed forward, ducking into the cave entrance. His helmet lights illuminated a scene that would be burned into his memory forever. Elena lay in the center of the cave floor, curled around 15 small forms. She had stripped off her outer envirosuit layers and wrapped them around the children, using her own body heat to keep them warm. Her lips were blue, her skin pale, but her eyes snapped open when Marcus's light found her. Even in her weakened state, the fierce protectiveness of a Luna commander blazed in her gaze. "Marcus," she whispered through chattering teeth. "Help them first, please." Marcus dropped to his knees beside her, rapidly assessing the situation. The 15 forms were pups, children ranging in age from perhaps 4 to 10 years old. Not human children, he realized with shock. They were Kaldorians, a reptilian species from the neighboring system. Their scales were dulled with cold, their breathing shallow, but they were alive. "What happened?" Marcus asked, even as he began activating emergency thermal packs from his kit. "Their transport ship was shot down by raiders," Elena explained, her voice gaining strength as Marcus wrapped a thermal blanket around her shoulders. "I saw the crash while on patrol." The ship broke apart on impact. These 15 were ejected in an escape pod. Everyone else was lost. The pod's beacon was damaged, and their environmental systems failed immediately. They would have frozen in minutes. "So you brought them here," Marcus said, understanding flooding through him. "You gave them your suit." Elena nodded weakly. "Kaldorians are cold-blooded. Without external heat, they would have died before rescue arrived. I couldn't let that happen. Not to children." Marcus felt something fierce and proud swell in his chest. This was why humanity had earned the respect of the galactic community, despite being newcomers to the stars. This was the spirit that made other species step aside when humans declared someone under their protection. "How long have you been keeping them warm?" he asked, though he could guess the answer. "Since the crash." "About 17 hours. Elena's eyes drifted to the huddled forms around her. "I told them stories to keep them calm. Human fairy tales. They liked the one about the 3 bears." Marcus activated his emergency beacon, calling for immediate medical evac. Then he began distributing thermal packs among the young Kaldorians, checking their vital signs. Thanks to Elena's desperate efforts, all 15 showed signs of recovery. Their scales were beginning to brighten, their breathing deepening. The oldest pup, a female with green scales, opened her eyes and looked up at Marcus. "Are you the Alpha King?" she asked in halting but understandable human language. "Luna Elena told us you would come. She said humans never abandon their pack, and she made us part of her pack." "I am," Marcus confirmed gently. "And yes, you are all part of our pack now. We protect our own." Within 20 minutes, 3 medical shuttles arrived, guided by Marcus's beacon. The storm had finally begun to break, and the rescue teams swarmed into the cave with heated stretchers and emergency medical equipment. The Kaldorian pups were loaded onto the first shuttle, the medical teams marveling that all 15 had survived such extended exposure. Elena refused to be carried, insisting on walking to the shuttle under her own power. But she leaned heavily on Marcus, and he could feel the exhaustion radiating from her body. She had burned through every reserve to keep those children alive, pushing her enhanced physiology to its absolute limit. "You should have called for backup immediately," Marcus said softly as they walked toward the waiting shuttle. "You nearly died out here." "There wasn't time," Elena replied simply. "They needed help right then. Every minute of delay would have meant dead children. I did what any Luna would do, what any human would do." Back aboard the starborn Fang, the medical bay hummed with activity. The Kaldorian pups were treated for exposure and malnutrition, but the doctors confirmed that Elena's intervention had saved their lives. Without her immediate action and her willingness to sacrifice her own safety, none of them would have survived. The Kaldorian ambassador arrived within hours, his entourage in tow. Ambassador Krell was an older male with deep crimson scales and eyes that had seen decades of galactic politics. He stood before Marcus and Elena in the medical bay, where Elena was still recovering from her ordeal. "Luna Commander Valen," Krell said, his voice thick with emotion. "You saved the heirs of 15 noble houses. Those children represent the future leadership of my world. Their loss would have been catastrophic, not just for their families, but for our entire society. You gave everything to protect them, though you owed us nothing." Elena met his gaze steadily. They were children in danger. That's the only thing that mattered. Krell bowed deeply, a gesture of profound respect in Kaldorian culture. "Humanity has proven itself again. The other races wonder at your fierce loyalty, your refusal to abandon the weak. Now I understand. It is not merely tactics or politics. It is who you are at your core." In the following days, the story spread across the galactic networks. The Luna commander, who had sheltered 15 alien children with her own body, keeping them alive through a night that should have killed them all. The Alpha King, who had flown through an impossible storm to find his mate, guided by nothing but determination and love. The Kaldorian High Council declared eternal friendship with humanity. The 15 rescued pups, as they recovered, spoke of the strange human female who had told them stories and promised they would be safe, who had given them her warmth when they had nothing. Marcus stood beside Elena's medical bed, holding her hand as she slept. The doctors said she would make a full recovery, though she would need several days of rest. Her actions had pushed her enhanced body to the breaking point, but she had succeeded. 15 lives saved. 15 futures preserved. This was humanity's gift to the galaxy, Marcus reflected. Not superior weapons or faster ships. Not grand strategy or ruthless tactics. Simply this, an absolute refusal to let the innocent suffer when it was within their power to help. A bone-deep conviction that protecting the pack, even when that pack included strangers, was worth any price. The stars beyond the viewport seemed brighter somehow, as if acknowledging the truth that was spreading across civilized space. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not through conquest or dominance, but through an unyielding commitment to protect those who could not protect themselves. The Alpha Kin, if you enjoyed this video, consider supporting us with super thanks. Your support helps us create more.